In this video, I will be showcasing one of Halo's standout features and something that many other platforms either don't support or require quite complex automations to get to the stage that Halo provides all out of the box natively. So that feature is going to be the vendor management and log to supplier feature. So if I jump into our vendors area here on the left side pane, we can see I've set up a single vendor record, and we'll use that in a little demo in just a moment. I'll navigate into this vendor record and we can see it's been provided a name, some contact details, support, billing address, phone numbers, etc. We can also upload or associate it with contracts, assets, purchase orders, upload any documents as well. In the settings tab, I've defined the domain associated with this vendor, and that will mean that any email coming that has this domain will automatically be associated with this vendor record, which means those tickets will automatically be shown in this tickets area. We could use that for reporting. We might have different SLAs or different rules based on this being the vendor of our ticket. I've also set up an email start and end tag, which is going to allow us to capture the vendor's reference ID if they themselves are using a service desk tool that's appending an ID into the subject or body of the email. So what we'll do is we'll jump into our incidents area and navigate into one of these incident tickets here. And at this point, I need to raise this to the vendor for some assistance. So completely out of the box, I haven't customized this instance at all, except for changing the colors and creating that vendor record. I'm going to use the log to supplier or log to vendor action at the very top. We can see here it's prompting us to send an email, but instead of populating this email field, I'm actually going to select a vendor record, and that's going to pull through the vendor's support email address. I have the option of associating this with a contract, predefining a vendor reference number if that already exists, and selecting a specific contact as well. But in this case, I just want to raise it to the vendor ops area as a whole. So at this point, I'll send off an email to the supplier, and the real benefit of this feature is this email to the supplier is not going to show any of the comms that I've had with the user. And similarly, the user is not going to see any of the comms I'm having with the supplier. So effectively, we create a two-way stream of communication in this ticket, but it's all tracked within the same ticket itself. So we'll send that one off. And this is just our out-of-the-box template. We can certainly customize that as needed. And we'll wait for a response from our vendor. While we're waiting for a response from our vendor, this action that we used before, log to supplier, is just like all of our other actions in the platform. So we can configure the status that it puts the ticket in. We can change how it affects the SLAs. We can modify what notes is added to the ticket as well. In this case, we're sticking in the same in-progress stage of our workflow. So the user is going to see that the ticket's still in progress, and out of the box, you're also going to see the status of the ticket. So they're going to know that it's with supplier. Both of those can be obfuscated from the user if preferred. As part of the out-of-the-box incident management workflow, we also have 3 new actions available. So we can recall this ticket from the supplier, say, hey, no, never mind. We can say, great, this has been resolved by the supplier, and email the end user. Typically, this would populate the end user's address. This user doesn't actually have an email address since they're a demo dummy user. Or we can continue our stream of comms with the supplier until we finally can resolve our ticket. Excellent. We've got a response from our vendor. Not very helpful in this case, but that's perfectly fine. All I wanted to see was that, yes, we've got both any comms with our end user visible on this ticket, as well as any comms from the supplier visible on this ticket. And I can actually verify that the user cannot see this in a couple of ways. Firstly, the little icon here actually shows us that it's not visible to user. Hide from user. It's just the default based on the action that's been configured. And the other thing we can do is actually impersonate this user. And we can navigate into that ticket. And all we can see is the initial details of the ticket. We can't see that email that I'd sent to the vendor. So that's the basic setup of vendor management and log to supply in Halo. The key concepts to be aware of is defining all of your vendor records, providing them with, at the very least, a name and a support address. You can certainly fill out as much more information as you'd like as well. And some of the advanced things to look at would be setting up a domain match And if they themselves using a service desk or ITSM platform, set the start and end tags, and we can automatically capture their reference number, and that can be useful for reporting or consistency as well.